What's going on, traders? This is Steve Place, the lead analyst at Precision Volume Alerts, and today we're going to talk about tech stocks, and we're going to talk about how the Nasdaq is running very aggressively on the back of just a handful of names, and one very specific scenario where I think we are due for a very strong rug pull within basically the next 2 weeks, and I want to make sure you're aware of it so you can take advantage of it. So let's hop over really quick and take a look at the Qs. All right, so this is a chart of the Nasdaq 100 index, and we've seen a very nice run. Strong breakout above about 342. We're seeing some continuation to the upside, and a lot of it is being driven by just a handful of names. Remember that the Nasdaq is a market cap weighted index. So there's about 5 names: Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Tesla. And I think there's one more that account for 50% of the weighting in the Nasdaq. So when we take a name like Apple, right, which is streaking higher right now, that's going to significantly affect how the Nasdaq moves. If we take a look at Amazon, same kind of thing. Amazon got some nice news to the upside, and that breakout really added fuel to the fire in the Nasdaq. So those kinds of names are helping to prop up the overall indices. And we've seen this before where if we get enough momentum to the upside, it gets a little bit too extended. The best example was the August top in the Nasdaq, where it went parabolic, it ran to 300, and then it got absolutely crushed. I did call the top on that. There were some very specific things that were happening in the options market, especially around the volume in the options market, that led to that push to the downside. And I think we are seeing something similar set up in another tech stock. Before we get to that, I want to point out 2 instances where we saw a tech stock run into its split and then it got crushed. So the first example is in Apple. The split happened on the end of August in 2020. All right, so I just want to mark that on the chart really quick. Let me see if I can find, here we go. We'll just point out, here we go. So this is where the split happened. All right, so the stock, the company announces a split, it runs, it gets way too ahead of itself, volume dries up, and then after the split, it gets absolutely walloped to the downside. Okay, here's another example, Tesla. Tesla has a split the 31st of August, 2020. So what happens to Tesla? It runs from 275, right? And it goes and goes and goes to the upside. The split happens, and then it sees about a 50% correction to the downside. There is a mechanic that happens in these large cap tech stocks where you will see a lot of momentum to the upside, driven not just by speculators using leverage, but also in the options market. We are seeing instances where if you get enough call buyers, the dealers have to take the other side, they get net short, and as the stock rallies, they're forced to buy back those shares. After the split, everything falls apart. All right, so it's not a guarantee that that happens, but it allows you to align the odds in the trade to that specific event if everything else is lining up. And we've got this other tech stock that's going right now, and it has a split coming up in, let's see, 20 June 21. So that's going to be in about 13 calendar days, so about 10 trading days. What's been going on, right? It broke out from its key volume level right around 535. And the split announcement happened a couple weeks later. What's been going on? Running, less volume. We're seeing squeezes in the options market. And into that event, I expect it to have a very nice rug pull and a pretty decent pullback to the downside. So our clients at Precision Volume Alerts have already been notified of the key option that we're looking at that has the potential to easily triple on a normal pullback. All right, and if implied volatility continues to go up, that will definitely help the position. If you want this setup, you got to get in now, because this might break at any time. If you want to see the exact reasoning behind the trade, what we're looking at, the exact put options that we're going to be looking at to the short side, then you need to join Precision Volume Alerts now. Below this video is a webinar that will go through the exact process that we use to find the best setups in the market. Click the link below this video to get access to that webinar, and you'll learn more about our approach and what you can do to get started. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Have a great day.